What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm according to Woods, and with me, as those two title belts displayed behind his back, this is two-time U of MMA champion Pius Inalalobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. There you go.
And you better understand, uh, uh, to my right is none other than A Day, Mr. Woods, always shutting it down like always. So let's go get this. We about to show.
Let,
We about to discuss this 264, and we about to break it down. Let's see what's up. And if you got something you want to say, please say something, and we can get this on. Let's go.
say what you want to say. I want to see you be
Yeah,
brave, people in the comment section.
yeah,
But yeah, UFC
yeah.
264. We get started out this auspicious card. We had one fight drop out, unfortunately, due to COVID protocols. That was the one with Yao Zhang Hu and Alan
Yes,
Amedovsky, right? Somebody
yes,
in
yes.
Amedovsky's corner tested positive for COVID-19, so that was pulled within hours of the fight. But we get started with Zalgas Zumagulov and Jerome Rivera.
Yep.
Shit, man.
Hmm.
This is a banger. I mean, it seemed a lot longer, just the amount of action that was here. Um, it seemed a lot longer, but Zalga Zamagulov basically finishing off Jerome Rivera with a standing guillotine
Hmm.
choke. Man, right off the back, we got to finish.
Hmm. It was quite simple. Jerome Rivera, like we predicted, is not ready for this level of competition. He is not complete enough to be competing in the UFC. And Zalgas found a guillotine in which he secured, and he finished the match in midway through the second round. Actually, the first round, he finished him off in the
First,
first round. He
yeah,
didn't
the
really need
first.
to do much. Yeah, he caught him slipping, put a guillotine on, trapped his head real nice, by the way, and that was the end of that.
That was the end of that. No, 100%.
Four
So
losses and you're out.
yeah, and it's amazing that he got the four tries. Usually it's three and out, almost like baseball.
Yeah,
The strike and
yeah.
the outs and the jazz, I don't know, whatever. But apparently somebody actually tried to bomb the NBLB All Star game. So that is the only that and like Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa from back in the day trying to get the home run record. That's all I know about baseball. So, but from what I
And
understand, it's three strikes you're out or some shit.
yeah, and there's this fella by the name of Otani that's running the baseball scene right now. He's a super pitcher and he's also a cracker. He cracks it out of. I mean, I think he's in the league right now in the home run total home runs for the season. He's a Japanese fella. Otani is his name, and he's doing things right now. He's the man of the hour right now.
Man of the hour. He's no Leo Rush, but kudos to Otani. And also not the Otani from wrestling, Japanese pro wrestling. That's a
No.
different Otani.
Mm-mm.
Shinjiro Otani, I believe, is a Japanese wrestling great. But yeah, so Zalga
Mm-mm.
Zumagulov having the very first finish of the night. But talk about action. We have to talk about the Brad Tavares versus Omar Akhmedov fight. Holy smokes, man. I
Mm-mm.
personally picked against Tavares. I thought he was a little bit long in the tooth. Uh, but damn, man. Brad Tavares
Mm-mm.
and Omar Akhmedov, it was a fisticuffs. It was a
Mm-mm.
war. A war is what this was. Having Brad Tavares win.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Brock Tavares earned every inch of this particular win, man. His takedown defense was the key to victory. He was able to keep the fight standing, and he did his thing with the kickboxing. He did his thing. It wasn't an easy fight. It was a split decision, but it was well earned. And just like we discussed last time, man. Even in a loss, if he performed, he would get another fight, and he actually won. So guaranteed he's going to be getting another fight. The guy's a dog, man. He goes in there and he performs, and he earned this particular victory. So shout out to Brett Tavares. Keep the wins coming.
He's a dog. He's a dog. That's what I went with. But in the next fight, we had Jennifer Maya. Well, I kind of combined
Hmm.
both of the names. Jennifer Maya showing us Jessica's other evil eye, basically
Hmm.
lacerating the forehead of one Jessica eye, and man, it looked not pretty.
Hmm.
Not pretty at
Yes,
all.
it's yeah, not pretty at all, man. Unfortunately, headbutts are part of the sport. These things happen. Actually, it's not legal, but accidents happen. And unfortunately, Jessica I had a 13 stitch gash on her head, and unfortunately, that was not why she lost. She lost because she was pretty much out kickboxed. Jessica I is a great boxer, and you saw flashes of greatness in there. She just hasn't evolved. Jessica Maya, however, was able to Jennifer
Ye-
Maya was able to strike high, medium, and low, and it won her the match. I mean, so be it.
Yes, absolutely. Don McGuire, our good brother, says, "Sup, gentlemen, break a leg tonight." See what you did there. Clever, clever, Don McGuire. And the Jessica I fight was boring. Some might argue
Yeah,
that. I mean, this wasn't
yeah,
a fight of the night contender, but I don't think anybody was expecting it to be.
yeah. I was actually expecting Jennifer to go in there and grapple Jessica, but she didn't. She stood with her the entire time. Not mad at it. Jennifer thinks she's ready to go for another title shot. I don't think so. Not with that kind of performance. She will get hurt this time severely. So please, Jennifer, take time, get a little bit better, and then go back against the undefeated champ.
Yeah, I mean, just on a weird side note, because I kind of, when I was watching
Mhm.
this, Jennifer Maya kind of looks like Alberto Del Rio.
Yes,
That's here
that's
nor
very
there.
true.
It's here nor there, but I just thought that was it's a different one. But somebody that doesn't look like
Yeah.
Alberto Del Rio or his Pretoria, South Africa counterpart, Oscar Pistorius, Decrease Du Plessis, right?
Hmm.
A former
Yes.
a former champion, three-time champion. He was a double champion
Hmm.
in the God. It's not KSW. It is one of the it is. Oh, EFC. He's a double champion in EFC. Then went on to KSW and won their
Hmm.
title. Lost it right back, but even
Hmm.
still, three-time champion coming into the UFC.
Hmm.
And he beat the tar out of fucking Trevin Giles, man.
That's right.
Bo- Boxed the whole fight. Her career's on the downside of Jessica I. I know, 100%, 100%.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
and Duplessis is legit. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
What was your take on Ducrease Duplessis, or as I like to say, Cirque du Soleil?
Yes. Yes. On Thursday, we agreed that Dracus is going to have to defeat Tevin Giles to be considered a contender. And he went ahead and he did just that. And how did he do it? He was extremely disciplined the entire time. If you watch that match, you'll see his hands were right here the entire time, prepared and ready for counterattacks. He was ready for offense and he was ready for defense the entire time. Tevin Giles, however, was ready in the beginning because he was moving the entire time in the beginning. His movement was fantastic, and then he got comfortable. He dropped his hands, which is there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with dropping your hands. But Dracus was able to change his fighting style, and I don't know how he did it, but he got Giles to stop moving his feet, and it became stationary. And this was the downfall to Mr. Giles. Not because he had his hands down, because he stopped moving his feet. And when you stop moving your feet, you become an easy target. Uh, uh, Trevin Giles attacked, forcing his opponent to the cage. His opponent bounced off the cage and was propelled by the cage to throw a 1-2. The two landed, knocked him out cold, and that was it. You got to be disciplined in there, man. The margin of error for these type fellas is very, very, very small. right? The standard deviation is very, very small, and Drukis, he was more disciplined, so he took the win. I mean, it seems that Trevin was piecing him up, but you can't drop. I mean, you got to be ready. You got to always be ready. Plessius uh, is a rightful winner in this particular match. He did everything right, so he won.
No, 100%. He did win. And Don McGuire says Voodoo wasn't the Kimura escaped by Duplessis righteous.
Yes, it was. It was. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It was fantastic. I like how he was able to change position utilizing that Kimura. Right? He was really on the bottom, but then he applied the Kimura and wound up on top. It was quite beautiful to watch. Even though Giles wasn't placed in the Kimura, but Drokis was able to move himself from a least favorable position to a favorable position, and the ground. The guy is just a complete fighter. Let's just call it ace what an ace is. He's a complete fighter. His transitions are quite beautiful. He uses his hands and feet very well. He grapples well. He wrestles well. Everything. His mind is sound, right? He is a two-time champion in EW wherever for a reason. Uh, he continues to show that he is here to stay. He is UFC caliber, and I'm sold now. He has convinced me enough.
Absolutely. Now you spoke of something about the transitions. Transitions. Well, here's somebody, and honestly, the free flow that you speak of was evident in this fight. No, hundred
Yes,
percent, hundred
most
percent.
definitely, most
Uh,
definitely.
but speaking of somebody that was absolutely like, if free flow or flow state is here, wherever the fuck that was, Ryan Hall was on the other side, man. Round and round he went. Where he stopped, nobody. Actually, somebody knew that somebody was Ilya Taporia, because he fucking Ryan Hall roly polied his ass all around the octagon, right? For a guy that
Hmm.
hasn't had a fight in 2 years because people are scared of him.
Hmm.
Now, when he first started doing it, it was, and I think Aaron Tohill, shout out to Aaron Tohill, who's fighting for a bare knuckle promotion just this upcoming week. So good skill to Aaron Tohill. Uh, but she was saying, like, it was awesome except for the 20th time. Like, it got bored at like the fifth time he did it. The fucking, I
Hmm.
think it was a worm guard that he was trying to do or whatever. Yep, he only has one move. Hundred
Yeah,
percent.
the something. Yeah, he was trying to execute something similar to the Minari role, and it didn't work out. Tupuria, turns out that he himself is a black belt, one, and two, he's got many, many, many black belts to work with. So the fear of a black belt was not there, right? So he came in 10-0, went in there against Ryan Hall, who was 8-1 or something like that, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a very good match. It was a very good match for Tupuria, of course. Poirier, because of the lack of fear, he went in there throwing major hands. He had no fear of takedown. He had no fear of Imanari roll. He had no fear of Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall, on the other hand, though he executed some decent spin kicks, had nothing else. Spin kick to Imanari roll, or whatever that roll was called,
Yeah, it
was
was
all
a
he brought
Minari
to the
first one.
table. Yeah, that's all he brought to the table, and that wasn't enough against a complete fighter such as Tupuria. Now, Tupuria has established himself as another major contender in his division and featherweight division, and look forward to seeing this fella against a top 15 opponent next.
Yep. It was hammer time. Yeah. Oh. And with that, I'm actually gonna shout out to MMA Storytime for this, but did it? Did it?
Hey man,
I
it's
don't.
like they say when it's like they say when it's jujitsu, all this stuff works. But when striking is involved, when you hit a black belt one time, he turns into a brown belt. You hit him again, he turns into a purple belt. Hit him again, he turns into a blue belt. Hit him again, he turns into a white belt, which is what we watched. If you cannot do anything else besides jiu-jitsu, there's going to be trouble. There's going to be trouble. And we will discuss this about the main event as well. But, you got to have the 5 basics. Boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. Without those 5, forget being a top 10 contender.
Yep, absolutely. Shaman Steve says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, Shaman Steve. Glad to have you with us. I hope you are well."
Good evening, Sean.
Yes,
That's
and
right.
one person that wasn't well after his latest incarnation or appearance in the Octagon was the hybrid Nico Price, because Michel Pieta pretty much pieced him up. Pieced him up.
Michel Pieta did what he had to do. He moved, he stuck and moved. But then he got tired in the second round, right? Now we have Nico Price, who has been he was touched for 2 rounds. He's behind now. He's behind. Now he's in the 3rd round. He's not tired at all. The time for him to execute and go after the tired opponent, he didn't. He found himself holding and dirty boxing. The dirty boxing is not what you need in a situation like you need a knockout. You need a finish. And he didn't do that. I don't understand why he was surprised when they gave the unanimous decision to Michel Pieta. Michel did what he was supposed to do. Even after he got tired, he was still able to stop you from finishing him. So I see no problem with the unanimous decision. Now Pieta, mind you, he has limited the nonsense. He did one backflip.
Yeah.
He did one backflip, but
Yes, he did.
he has limited the nonsense. He has limited the nonsense because now he's beginning to take his career a lot more serious, right? He came off the fence a little bit. The time that he did it made sense. The time that he did the backflip made sense. He didn't do too much stupidity, right? Nico Price gave this match away. I blame Nico Price for this particular loss. He was supposed to drag Michel into deep waters. Now Michel was in deep waters, and then you hand him a floaty. Why would you hand him a floaty if you want to drown him? Nico Price is all to blame for this match. Shout out to Michel Pereira. I wish him great luck, and I would like to see him again in the next match.
Yep. Nico was on stutter until the 3rd, and it was a little too late. 100%.
Even in the 3rd, he didn't do anything. The 3rd was the time for him to maintain his distance and strike away. Straight shots, front kicks, and 1s and 2s, right? This isn't the time for having a bent arm, right? And it has to be long, right? Use your reach. Strike from afar. You are not tired. Unload your gas tank. Do something. Finish him. At the end of the match, Nico Price had enough energy to yell, "Ah!" If you have that kind of energy, you clearly didn't do enough to win the match.
Yeah. I was like, you're the hybrid, but you had a rough time with aging Cowboy. You went to a draw with Cowboy. It's not good. Not good.
Yeah. The bottom line here is Nico Price is a fighter. That's all he is, a fighter. He is no technician. He is no science. He's no martial artist. See, martial artists, there's a difference between fighters and martial artists. Some fighters are great. Like Dustin Poirier, he is a fighter. He ain't no martial artist. He's a great fighter. But most martial artists, they come from understanding technique, understanding position, and then applying. Fighters come from fighting and then trying to understand the technique and then trying to understand the position. It's a different angle, right? Nico Price, I don't see him lasting long. He is not one of those dudes that will become successful. First of all, his style is the kind that does not provide longevity, right? He takes a lot of hits, and he doesn't have the platform like a Diaz, for example, who takes a lot of hits But even in a loss, he's still the hero. Nico Price is not privileged enough to have that kind of luxury. So I he's 14-5. Perhaps he still has time to change something. But at this rate, where he's headed, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. But one thing that is kind of evident, Max Payne Griffin, kind of best thing, former UFC interim champion, the natural born killer Carlos Condit. Now, I wanted Carlos Condit to win. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
you did too, Voodoo. He didn't look off. It's not like he got
No,
KO'd or submitted or what
no.
have you. But I
Hmm.
mean, Max Payne Griffin. I mean, there. You know, if he is to be a title contender, there's some serious improvements because, again, this is a aging, what, a 36, 37 year old Carlos Condit that has been
38.
fighting, 38, right?
Hmm.
Um, that has been fighting,
Hmm.
what, for over, what, almost 2 decades now, right? First debuting way back in
Yeah,
2002,
yeah.
right? So almost 20 years, right? Almost
Hmm.
20 years.
Hmm.
And you
Hmm.
can't put him away, Max Griffin. There's there's some improvements that you got to make, my man.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got the unanimous decision over a big name, but obviously this is not the Carlos Condit of, say, 2015 or 2010. 2010. You know, it's not the same dude.
So Max Griffin came into this fight talking about how Carlos Condit was his idol. He looked up to him growing up, and when he was presented with Carlos Condit right in front of him, he did not hesitate. He pulled the trigger immediately. He went after Carlos Condit. He tried to stop him in the first round, but just like we talked about last week, Carlos Condit is a technician. Carlos Condit does not have athleticism. He lacks athleticism. He's actually very, very awkward. When you watch him walk, you'll see that he's got duck feet. But at the same time, Carlos Condit is a student of the game, and this is what has preserved him for so long.
Yeah.
He's very, very highly technical. He works hard. He's got great heart. And this is why he is 13, 32, and 14. Max Griffin had all the advantages, and he still was not able to put away Carlos Condit. Carlos Condit, if it was a 5-round fight, possibly could have won this match. It seems he ran out of time. I mean, as you can see, at the very end of the match, Carlos Condit was in turn to choking him out. He had his back. It just so happens that he ran out of time, and that's what happened.
Yeah, no, 100%. And again, Carlos Condit is pretty prone for that 5 round war, and it just, in the words of JoJo, I believe it was too little, too late, so yeah, man, it is what it is. But Max Payne Griffin getting the win, securing the win, unanimous decision. So we move on to. I think we've got an actual photo. I think the UFC basically gave us rights to some footage from this fight. And here we go, because we had Sean O'Malley against one Chris Montino, right? So here's what we got: actual footage. Thank you, UFC, a courtesy of MMA Storytime, because this is what happened with Sean O'Malley. There we go. It's pretty much what happened, right? Yeah, and it wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty, but it was a standing KO, right? There was a lot of time where, I mean, I wanted him to win. I wanted the Cinderella story, no, not Cinderella, Cinderella story that kind of happened to Joe Soto, right? Joe Soto being the first guy on the card, and
Mhm.
then Renan Barao misses weight horribly, and then it's Joe Soto basically fighting for the title and taking it to all 25 minutes, right? Like, I wanted that story to kind of befell on
Mhm.
one Chris Montino. That was not to be. A
Mhm.
lot of times it looked like he was slipping into punches or not moving his head at all. Like, he almost wanted,
Mhm.
he needed Edmund Savardian with the head movement. Like, that dude
Mhm.
needed to be in his
Yeah.
corner. And
Uh,
we've we've seen that. We mentioned like Edmund Tarverdian. We mentioned. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously, we just had the deal of Diego Sanchez's Josh Rabia, right? Josh Rabia,
Mm-hmm.
be like Tyson and whatever, or Platinum Mike
Mm-hmm.
Perry's girlfriend, right? Basically in his corner. We've had like notoriously bad coaching. Um, the
Mm-hmm.
fir- After the first round, like I heard his coaches say, "You're doing well," and I was just like, "What? What?" His face is all discombobulated, and you're like, "You're doing well. Keep on doing this." I don't know. Don McGuire says the stoppage was stupid. Give the kid the last 20 seconds. That kid's a beast. I applaud him as he made O'Malley work. I understand that, right? But what happened to the Korean gentleman that faced Duran, right? And the referee let it go, right? And yes, his
Yeah, yeah,
performance,
yeah.
kind of befell, you know, his performance, basically got him bestowed the $75,000. Thank you, Connor. That $75,000
Mm-hmm.
performance of the night bonus,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
how many
Mm-hmm.
brain
Mm-hmm.
cells, you know? Like this is it was a one-sided ass whooping, man. Like
Mm-hmm.
this, yeah. I don't know.
Hey, just like the Diaz brothers, man. This kid, he's affiliated with the Diaz brothers. He went out there and he lived up to the style of the Diaz brothers, ready to take a beating to. He actually didn't do anything, did he?
No,
I
I was like the
mean, he
Diaz
got
brothers.
one or two licks in. He
He got
got one
some.
or two licks
I
in. You know what I'm
mean,
saying? Yeah.
O'Malley had some blood. I don't know if it might have been Montino punching O'Malley and his blood flying onto O'Malley's face. I don't know what the fuck happened, but there was some blood on O'Malley. I don't know. I didn't do a fucking Maury Povich DNA test on the fucking blood that was on O'Malley's face.
It
Um, so
was
but
a clinic.
it was a fucking clinic. But
It was a clinic.
here's the thing, right? I'll, and I'm not taking anything away from Montino. Please don't misconstrue that as that. An amazing performance, right? But let's look at O'Malley, right? He could have had other people
Hmm.
in his division in similarly ranked, right? Similarly ranked
Hmm.
to him,
Hmm.
right? And did it.
Hmm.
And anybody that, and we're gonna get into the Connor effect, right? Anybody that didn't think that
Hmm.
you know the Connor effect is a real thing, well, guess what? O'Malley, rather than fucking
Hmm.
taking the L on the card, he's just like, give me anyone. And they're like,
Hmm.
oh, how about somebody
Yep.
closely ranked to you? That didn't happen. And maybe it was an instance
Hmm.
of nobody in his rank
Hmm.
or ranking and division were ready at that time. So
Hmm.
it's a call up that happens.
Hmm.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
uh, theoretically,
Uh huh.
he had a almost. It took him the third round to pretty much finish a no name. And
Hmm.
if it wasn't that, it would have become a decision. But you shouldn't be, in a decision with somebody that clearly isn't UFC caliber at this point.
Well, one thing about this Chris fella is he's got championship heart. Championship heart. We'll give him that. It seems he's actually really a 120, 125er. That's what it seems like. O'Malley was adamant about fighting at 135, which ruled out most of the fellas that called him out on Twitter, right? Because they're not ready. If they stayed ready, they would never have to get ready. If their
Mm-hmm.
weight was close to striking distance as a professional, then Sean O'Malley will have a legitimate UFC opponent. You know what I
Yep.
mean? But since they couldn't make weight,
Yeah.
O'Malley does not have to fight you at a catch weight. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to fight you. You need him. He doesn't need you. You
Yeah.
might have been there before O'Malley, but his name is bigger than yours. These
Yeah.
fighters need to understand this. They need to understand. The kid is new to the UFC, but yet his stock is higher than everyone else's. Cody
Yeah.
Garbrandt, O'Malley's stock is higher than yours too.
Hmm.
Even though Cody Garbrandt is going down to 125 to challenge for the title, I guess, or whatever he's doing down there. But I mean, whoever it is, who in this division, in the 135-pound division, whose stock is higher than Sean O'Malley's right now? Who?
No.
I don't even
I mean,
know their names. I don't even
outside
know
of
their names.
outside of the champ, right? I mean, and this is no disrespect to like the Alex
Who
Perez's
is the
or
champ? Who is the
oh,
champ?
actually, no. I'm sorry. It's Moreno, right? So we've obviously got Figgy. We got Davidson
Oh
Figueiredo.
yeah, Moreno. That's
We
right. That's right.
yeah. So Moreno's the champ. Davidson
Mm-hmm.
Figueiredo. We've got Alex
Mm-hmm.
Perez. We've got
Mm-hmm.
Royval, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
So I
So
mean,
so okay. Okay. Now we are talking about stock. He's got a bigger stock than all these dudes. He's got the biggest stock in the fucking division. Yeah, it is what it is. Oh, you think his stock went down? His stock didn't go down. The kid's just a zombie. I mean, you saw him hitting him. He hit that kid with the hardest shots that he could. The kid wouldn't go down. Every now and then you run into someone like this. Someone who has got the zombie effect. You hit him with the kitchen sink and he's still coming after you. I mean, his stock didn't go down because he couldn't knock the kid out. I think his stock rose because he was able to make at least a 5-minute highlight video punch on this kid. He threw excellent kicks. He threw excellent punches. Everything he did was excellent. He never got rocked in the match. The kid hardly hit him. I mean, you can't really blame O'Malley because he couldn't knock the kid out. The kid's a zombie. He's a zombie. And we
yeah,
did talk on Thursday. We said if this kid goes out there and he shows something, they'll give him a contract. Guess what? You will see this kid again, and he will be at his rightful weight class, which is 125.
yeah, no, 100%. So I mean, it, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this one. You were talking about championship mentality. Hope you got a championship straw because after this fucking shit, he's gonna fucking be drinking out of a straw, eating through a straw, probably shitting out of a straw. I don't know. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, and everybody was Don McGuire said the stoppage was stupid. Give the kid at least the last 20 seconds. The kid's a beast. I applaud him, and as he made O'Malley work. No, 100%. I understand that,
Yeah,
and he exposed. He was exposed. He showed he has a hard time fighting backwards. No, I mean,
he he
that
did fight backwards. He fought moving backwards. He did everything he could. Giving that kid 20 more seconds could have been his death. We'll never know. I think the
that's what I
referee made the right decision because prior to that stoppage, there was at least a 10 or 15 hit combination on Anderson,
right, right,
which is why
100
he jumped in there and stopped it.
right, and
You know
that's
what I
that's
mean?
the that's the other thing, right? So 10 to 20 more seconds of damage to his brain. It wasn't like he was fucking killing him with like liver shots and shit like that where he was going down. It was just to the brain. Thing you can't fucking recover from traumatic brain issue, right? And again, how much are you going to expend of your fucking hit card? There's only so many times you can get hit in the chin or your brain ramble around before shit just goes south, right? And unfortunately, we've seen
Yeah,
it with
yeah.
NFL players and everything, shooting themselves in the chest because they want their
Boxers.
brains, boxers, right? Because they want them, their brain studied
Hmm.
and everything like
Hmm.
that, right? And he will never be the same after this, right? Like he will never be the same after
No,
this.
he
like
won't.
seventy-five
No, he
thousand
won't.
dollars. I mean, that won't even cover like
No,
his
no.
anything. So I
Mm-mm.
don't know. I a lot of people were shitting on Herb Dean last night. I was like that to
No,
me
he did the right
that
thing.
I thought so too. I absolutely did.
Her,
Yeah,
Herb Dean is the gold standard, man, in this game. After John McCarthy left, Herb Dean is next.
right. And
Herb
not
Dean has been there since the beginning.
almost the beginning. Yeah, for sure. And but
Yeah.
again, that's not to say, right? Herb Dean's a human. There have been fuck ups, but that is fuck ups in every
That
referee.
wasn't a
That's
mistake.
a right.
That was
I
not a
agree.
mistake. That was perfect.
Yeah,
He
and
could have stopped it at the beginning of the third.
yeah,
Because that dude was taking a beating the entire time.
right. No, 100%, 100%. Yeah, and put a veteran in. Now they know. Now they know O'Malley doesn't have the same ability of fighting backwards. Well, the veteran was Chito Vera, and we know how that went.
You know, not a lot of people can fight backwards in this game, right? O'Malley actually fought moving backwards. Most of his strikes on this kid was why he was moving backwards. Now, this veteran that you speak of, will he even be able to corner O'Malley? Because he's got very good lateral movement. He can fight moving backwards. He can kick while moving backwards. The only thing that I might be suspect about will be his ground game. What's his ground game? Like, we haven't really
I think
seen
he's
his
at least
ground
a.
game.
We
That's
haven't
the
seen it in the
only knock
UFC, but
that I see.
from what I hear, he's either a legit purple or brown belt, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I mean,
So when whoever's going to test him will have to bring him to the ground. On his feet, he matches up very well with anybody in that division. Anybody, because he's got height advantage over most of them, right? Whoever's going to stop him will have to ground and pound him. That's the key.
nope, that is the key. So I don't know. Kudos to Chris Montino because he, as well as Sean O'Malley, were a recipient of 75,000 each,
Yes.
in addition to their fight pay.
Yes.
So as
Yes.
well as that again that Druckus Duplessis, also
Yes.
$75,000 performance of the night. So kudos
Yes.
to
Yes.
all three of those gentlemen. You know,
And by the
um,
way, the
yeah,
Sean O'Malley Chris fight was our first candidate for fight of the night, and indeed it was.
yeah. Shaman Steve says still think the ankle will be his Achilles. I got you. That was pretty clever. His Achilles heel. I like it. Bravo, Shaman Steve. It could
Yeah,
be. It very well could be. So
yeah,
only
yeah.
time will tell.
Those calf kicks are serious. Those calf kicks are very serious. As you can see, it was decisive in the main event, but we'll get to that.
Absolutely. And my sister loves you guys. Welcome back, James.
Mm.
Glad to have
It
you.
was such,
Absolutely. So now we go into somebody that isn't James Barrett, two females that aren't James Barrett's sisters. I'm assuming that your sisters, good sir, aren't either Yana Nutskaya or Irene Aldana, but Aldana basically KOing in the very first round. Yana Kutskaya, the former Invicta uh, champion, right? Uh, Man, it was rough. It was rough.
hmm
Um, and you mentioned that Yana's boyfriend, her beau, is former UFC title contender Thiago Santos. It was kind of, I don't know. It was kind of cool, crazy to see him there with her. I don't know. But yeah, he was there and he saw his girl get knocked out by somebody who came
Indeed,
in
indeed.
4 pounds over. 4 pounds over.
Hey, but before we even give Irene any kudos, we have to, just like you just mentioned, those 4 pounds are significant. Significant. 30% of your purse. That said, Guadalajara, Guadalajara! You got to give it up to the Mexicans, man. When it comes to hands and it comes to heart, Aldana showed you that yesterday. She went up against a kickboxer with just boxing, and look at what happened. Excellent takedown defense, of course, because if it would have gone to the ground, something else could have happened. She was able to defend against the takedown, keeping the fight standing, and that was all she wrote. The check hook was on point. Check hook dropped her. She went in for the kill within 30 seconds to 40 seconds. The fight was down data. Irene is a major force in this game. Uh, her wrestling, I should say, continues to improve. I don't know what submission game is like. She did get an armbar not too long ago, but her grappling is improving. And this is mainly what she needs if she wants to compete against Shevchenko. Shevchenko, complete fighter. Irene would need to fight a couple of more people, right? I mean, I think Irene is what, number 4 right now. I would like to
Something
see
like that.
Irene fight number 3, number 2, number 1, and then the champ because she needs that time to prepare for Valentina. You know what I mean? She needs to fight everyone that's in front of her before she gets to the title. So at the end of her match, she should not say, I will get the title one day, but call out the next person you want. Call out number 3, and then call out number 2, and then call out number 1. This is how it's done. Don't leave it up to the UFC to pick for you because they're
Yep.
not going to pick favorable matchup. Pick who you want. Pick who you want. You are in the driving seat, Irene. You are in the driving seat. Tell them what you want, and then the fans will back you. You know what I mean? This is how it's done. Stop leaving it to the UFC to pick for you. There, you dropped the ball, but your performance was excellent. Shout out to Irene, and shout out to Guadalajara, Guadalajara.
There we go. And Aldana put on a clinic. I've shot both for years. I, oh, you're braver than
Aldana
I
didn't even
am.
get a chance to put on the
I,
clinic.
I've never shot anyone nor been shot. So that's a very bold statement, Don McGuire. But only
Hey,
you.
she didn't even get to put on the clinic. She didn't even get to put on the clinic. I was looking forward to a great match. She was just very patient and
Like,
let the opponent come to her, and counter striking was all she needed.
wow, he's shooting people in public places. Look at Don McGuire. Jeez. Wow. Again, I'm not a young guy. Whoever you shoot is your business. Whatever you do. But yeah, man, that's something. But man, speaking of something, uh, uh, this one I wanted to double KO, right? Because Craig Hardy is an asshole, and Taito Ivasa has set Polynesians back 150 years by drinking. I mean, fucking having people shit. I almost said shit in shoes, but yeah, spit in shoes, pour beer, and then drink it. They call it a shoey. Fuck that, man. Because no, not at all. But I'm glad that that Hardy got KO'd. It happens in less than 2 minutes, less than a minute 10, or a minute 7 in the very first round, and just sent him spinning. He was just like, whoop. And there was a bit of a tussle where Hardy had rocked Tuivasa, and I was like, oh shit, no! And then Tuivasa just fucking mollywops the shit out of Greg Hardy, and then I'm happy again.
Well, when we discussed this particular match, Greg Hardy, according to our discussion, his advantage over Tuivasa will be his lateral movement. He did not do that. He wanted to not listen to the professionals. He wanted to stand in the middle of the cage and bang. As you can see, before the match started, he pointed to the center of the cage, which is very stupid. Very, very stupid. Tuivasa he seeks that. Why would you give him why would you meet him where he is strongest? You have lateral movement. Why not use your lateral movement? Yeah. Unfortunately for him, he went for a brawl. He got struck in the eye with a knuckle, right? Which blinded him immediately. And then he was grounded and pounded to oblivion. Um, unwise. Even if you're going to do something like that, at least wait till the man is a little bit tired. At least wait till the second or the third round. You immediately want to do something like that? I mean, when you do something like that, it becomes a 50-50. You never want to put yourself in a 50-50 situation. And that's what happened. He flipped the coin, and it didn't land on heads that he called. It landed on tails. Tuivasa wins. Tuivasa jumps on the cage, and immediately he already had everything planned out. He called out for someone in the audience or whoever that was, gave him a shoe, gave him beer. Everything was set to go. He initiated his platform, built this platform. He is a the stinking, true beer drinking fella. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, he used it. It worked. Everyone yelled. Everyone cheered. He spoke on the mic. He wasn't that articulate, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter. He had something. This is something that he can build on. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. But
Yeah.
this is something that he can build on. I mean, if you remember back in the WWE, the Bushwhackers, they had
Yeah.
this thing right here. You put the face of your opponent in the armpit. It's disgusting, but it worked for them. You know, this guy's got the shoey thing. It's disgusting, but it's working for him. People like that. People like to be entertained. Fighters. People like to be entertained. Yes, fighting should be all that matters, right? Your fighting skill should be all that matters, but that's out the window. That's not enough anymore. You have to understand you are in America, and Americans love instant gratification. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? And the thing that
Ooh,
Chewy Boss
yeah.
has done for us lately is the shoey, beer drinking, dirty shoey, hot sauce in your beer. This is what he has done for us lately. And he got the knockout. He hit the ball out the park. He was good on the mic. He was good in this fight, and his platform continues to get larger. I bet you he got some thousands of addition to his Instagram and his platform yesterday. So he did everything right. Hopefully, he keeps building his platform and he becomes something later on in the future.
Absolutely. And you mentioned, yes, somebody in the last viewing put some of Dustin Poirier's hot sauce in the beer and whatever. And he just said, it almost reminded me of Drake kissing Madonna. What the fuck? Which proving Dustin Poirier's hot sauce is dog shit. But I digress. Funny woods, Don McGuire, you must have seen my memes that I posted. So thank you for the memology. But yeah, kind of moving on from that
Oh,
heavyweight
good.
contest, we had
Yes.
the co-main event of the evening. Both former UFC welterweight title contenders, Gilbert Dorino Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. My highlight of this fight was them playing Wonderboy, Tenacious D's Wonderboy. I was singing along to that fight. I mean, singing along to that song before the fight. The actual fight, I didn't give two shits about. It looked like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson was very like he didn't pull the fucking trigger, man. Like he didn't commit to anything. I don't think he was just he's playing touch butt like for
Um.
fucking 3 rounds.
Unfortunately, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson had no other choice but to fight the way he did. Granted that Gilbert Burns is arguably the best grappler in MMA right now. He is the best grappler in MMA right now. The previous title owner was what's that fella's name? The older
T-
fella,
Woodley.
the one he knocked out previously.
Ooh.
No, 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 no. The grappler from Brazil.
Oh, Maya. Damian
Damian
Maya.
Maya. Damian Maya. Right? Yeah. Yeah. He's beaten Damian Maya. Right? He's gone out and competed against great grapplers, and he's beaten them in the grappling arena, and he's beaten them here as well. No one out grapples Gilbert Burns. Well, I don't know anyone that's out grappled Gilbert Burns yet. So I will give him the title of greatest grappler right now. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson cannot just do his thing against someone so dangerous. He had to fight the way he did. And in turn, Gilbert Burns had to fight him the way he did, in a boring manner, right? You can't just go striking and stunning in front of someone like this who is an excellent wrestler, quick to shoot that double. As you can see, every time he shot that double, he got what he was looking for, right? He started with the double, it was shut down, went to the single, got what he was looking for. The high crouch, man. Got every time he went for the takedown. Maybe with the exception of one time he got it. And when he got to the ground, he held him down there. Had to be a boring match for him to win, man. But then he won. But then at the end of that, then he calls out 3 people. Why would you need to call out 3 people? Why are you calling out 3 people? You call out Nate Diaz, who should never matter to you. You called out what's that fella from Florida, the Scarface fella,
Oh, Masvidal.
Masvidal. You call out Masvidal, okay, okay, and then he calls out somebody else. If he wants to be taken serious, he needs to call out the right person. He needs to call out the right person. He called out 3 people. Now we are indecisive as fans.
Oh, okay.
Who do you really want? It
Okay.
should have been one name. if he really wants to fight, it should have been one name.
Okay, here's the thing though, and we're gonna get into that with the fucking main event, but he called out the money fights, right? Because he knows he can't make it against the fucking chap Usman. He got dispatched pretty soundly just earlier this year. He knows he don't want any of that, and he's like, "Fuck, might as well get some fucking paychecks while I can," right? But the thing about it is, Gilbert Burns, you think that you're a fucking like a fucking money fight. You're not a money fight. You're not, and that's one thing that unfortunately, and we're gonna get to that. Dustin Poirier, also, right? They're not a standalone, right? Standalone. Both of these guys are not money fights, right? They need somebody else. They need a fucking dancing partner. Otherwise, they're not charismatic enough. They're not. They could be the best anything, best jiu-jitsu person, best karate fighter, whatever, best. If you're trying to make money, and I hate the fact that they're two separate things, but I think this current generation of MMA, and I mean, when you think about it, right, the previous generation of MMA fighters were just starting to become MMA fighters, shedding away the martial arts practitioner aspect of the sport, just a specialist and what have you, right, and then fighting for absolute nothing, right? So now we're in this kind of new era, and I think it'll be another generation removed from this one to to kind of get this shit together. And, and that's where I think, we're starting to see seeds of Sean O'Malley, fucking Paige Van Zandt, and Ostovich, both in the BKFC, right? Like, they're fucking, you know what? Here's one instance that the female fighters are figuring out more than their male counterparts. It's utilizing whatever platform that they're given, and how many thousands, if not millions, of followers do they have, right? And then a lot of them have started out clothing lines, makeup brands, boxing, personal training, like a litany of different things, right? Not just relying on fighting. And unfortunately, the women of combat sports, boxers, mixed martial artists, taekwondo, Muay Thai, whatever, they are far light years ahead of their male counterparts. Light years ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know what's up with these men. Um, it seems they don't understand. It seems they don't understand. They can't figure out that this is a business. It's very hard. They got very tough, hard heads. They can't understand that this is a business. This is where we come to make money, and we're not gonna make money on your terms. No one is gonna make money on your terms, right? That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. In a perfect world, your fighting prowess should be all you need. But this ain't a perfect world. This is a very imperfect world. And for that reason, you need to be able to study the game. After you study the game, then you will realize that the game requires entertainment first. Right? Entertainment first. And the tools of entertainment is the microphone. You got to be able to connect with the people that you're selling to. You are a vendor. What you vend is your fighting skills. You have to be able to sell your fighting skills to your audience. Right? Right? And then the third thing is, of course, your platform. Where are they going to come check you out to buy and shop around? Right? You go to Foot Locker, you walk into Foot Locker, and you see all the displays. This is the platform. Where's your display? Where's your display? When you go to Foot Locker, you see the display. You start to look at the display. And then a striped zebra walks up to you and says, how can I help you? What are you looking for? Is there a specific type of shoe that you're looking for? Blah, 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 blah. This is your mic skills. This is business. This is business. This is not difficult. But these people think, oh, man, my display is up. The shoes are over there, man. I should be able to get $1,500 for these shoes, even though you don't have a price tag on the damn shoe that you're talking about. People don't even know how much the shoes cost because you refuse to learn how to speak to your audience. If you can't speak to your audience, they're not going to know how much your shoes cost. And if they don't know how much your shoes cost, they're just going to assume. and assuming makes an ass out of you.
Yep, absolutely. There is a dearth of showmen indeed. No, absolutely. You just have to give a little bit, you know. But again, you called up the three. Hopefully, it's almost like throwing a dartboard on the wall. Hopefully, with your eyes closed and hoping whatever. Because after that, he goes, "Wow, fuck it, boha! I love Las Vegas and whatever the fuck." Yeah. Maybe he wants to fight all of Vegas. I don't know.
Hey, by the
I
way, you just reminded me. This guy fights a safe, boring fight, and then he jumps up talking about Boha! 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 What are you celebrating, man? You just laid and prayed with rabbit punches. You laid and prayed for 15 minutes. And then you want to celebrate like that? Like you knocked him out? You didn't do anything. Yeah, you won. Great. You were supposed to win like that. But that kind of celebration does not match the type of fight that you fought. You know what I mean? These are things that turn people off. If you would have been like, hey, man, hey, that's Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. You think I'm stupid? You think I'm going to risk my brain cells risking and standing with him and getting head kicked into oblivion? I had to fight like that. It is what it is. If he came out and he was honest, people would respect that. That is Wonderboy Thompson. He will kick your head off your shoulders. He will crack your skull with his heel. He's got that capability. It makes sense to respect him. But then you want to celebrate like you just beat Mike Tyson? You didn't do anything. You just held the man down for damn near 12 minutes.
No, here's the deal, right? I was there at UFC 209 at the very same arena, T-Mobile Arena, for him and Woodley, right? I will say it until I'm blue in the face. I've never heard a chorus of boos and people walking out in a fucking main event than I did in this fucking fight. Holy shit, it was a dog shit. I wanted both Woodley and Wonderboy to retire that night. I mean, it's dog shit.
Hey, this guy got booed too. This guy,
right.
Gilbert Burns, got booed too at the end of the match. It's like, what are you celebrating? What a baha!
Yeah.
Baha!
Yeah.
What are you pohaing for? With one eye open. What are you pohaing for? That ain't the time for poha.
No.
That ain't the It's I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Where were they? T-Mobile Arena. I am sorry that you had to witness that, but I had no choice. If I would have fought him like you would want me to, I would be unconscious, and I do not want to go to sleep.
Okay, I know what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But fucking Wonderboy hasn't knocked anybody out since 2016. That shit is 5 years ago, folks. I mean, his last KO, if it were a fucking person, would be in kindergarten right now. Kindergarten! The fuck?
Yeah. That's man. True, though. That's true. But it's a different feeling. Trust me, Woods. It's a different feeling. Even though he hasn't knocked somebody out since then, it's a different feeling when he's standing across from you, looking at you, and you know he's been 57-0 in kickboxing. That is someone you got to respect. And Gilbert did. I don't fault him for that. I just fault him for the way he celebrated.
Okay. The thing about it, though, right? Are any of these going to fucking draw a dime? Burns or whatever fighting this fight? Even if it were the other way around. Let's say fucking...
No. Which is why he should have called for the next match. Because of what you just said, it's why he should have been specific about the next match and let the audience know, when I get in there with Kobe Covington, I am going to rip his heart out of his chest, blah, 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 blah. Right? Give them something, plant a seed and water it, and then give them something to expect. But he didn't do that. He left them indecisive, which is why he dropped the ball. And then that celebration did not match. It did not match the type of performance. It was great for grappling, but this is not a grappling match. This is an MMA match. We want to see blood. We want to see bludgeoning. We want to see hands fly. We want to see shins crack. This is what we want to see. And if you're all going to take them down to the ground, we want to see Massive ground and pound. Not this.
Yeah.
Not that nonsense. That was. Let me
So
calm down.
no, woosah, you know. But here's the thing. Uh, uh, you know, you talked about sowing the seeds. I'm going to sow the seeds right now. Wonder Boy, Gilbert Burns, retire! Fucking retire! I don't want to see your boring asses ever again. Retire. Just fucking do it. Bye. Adios.
Wonder
Adios.
Boy for sure. Wonder Boy for sure.
But
He's
I
not
was
getting
saying
another
that
title shot. So he.
I was saying that fucking, and he made me believe. He fucking made me believe. I was like, when we sat here on fucking Thursday, I was like, Wonder Boy, because it's a lot more fucking advantageous than fucking Burns again, right? How much better is Burns gonna
Yeah.
get in
Yeah.
less than a year of getting mollywopped by the fucking champ, who doesn't even have fucking
Yeah.
knees, good knees and shit like that. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Well,
again,
another thing, by the way, in regards to Wonder Boy, another thing in regards to Wonder Boy is he has hit the wall. Improvement is no more, right? He's stuck on skills now, kind of like Carlos Condit. They cannot improve physically anymore. They've hit their peak. They're actually declining now. They can try and maintain that free flow, not free flow, that weightlessness. You know when you throw a ball up in the air and it gets to a point in which it stays in the air for a split second before it drops. Working hard will keep them there for a little bit, but they cannot rise anymore. He has hit his wall. He's able to make weight. He's still able to do those things that he does, but he's lost a step. The speed is not there anymore, which is why he's unable to evade the takedown, and he gets pinned on the fence. He cannot get out of. He doesn't have the speed to escape before being touched anymore, and unfortunately, money fights are what's left for him now. Chasing the title is no longer there. Fighting Usman is no longer there because Usman will murder him if he gets in there against Usman. It's unfortunate to see him go without tasting title. But thank you, Wonderboy Johnson. You've been a great ambassador for the sport. But it's about time you go serve those kids, man. I think it's a better place for you now. Teaching the future to
yep,
be like yourself. He is an
he
admirable man.
he is exactly what Dana White said about Curtis Blades. Teaching kids on a fucking, you know, fucking strip mall. Actually, the fucking Thompson family fucking karate studio. That looks like a fucking
Mm-hmm.
first class fucking setup place. So shout out to Simpsonville. What is it? North Carolina, South Carolina, one of the Carolinas, one of them. You know that
Hey,
one.
they
South
have
Carolina.
hundreds of students. They have
Yeah,
hundreds of students. They have hundreds of students. So he's good. He's good.
yeah. So I'm just saying, man. But speaking of good, or maybe not so much, we are at the main events of the evening. We have former two division UFC champion, the notorious one, Conor McGregor, up against Dustin Diamond Poirier. And yep, this was the trilogy of the fucking fights and whatever. I didn't want to fucking see this fight in the first place. Everybody that was talking about, oh, Conor, Poirier beating fucking Conor. Conor beat Conor. Conor fucked up, and he fucked up his foot. It wasn't anything that Wonder Boy did. His bullshit ass sucking. Oh, I felt his shin crack. When he fucking checked it. Hey, get the fuck out of here, man. Because when they played the replay with fucking Joe Rogan, Conor, it was his kicks were fucking textbook. Like fucking hit the fucking target, drop back down. Hit the fucking target, drop back down. Force, drop back down. Like it was precision. It was fucking poetry in motion. Did Conor get caught? Did he fucking get too long in the fucking guillotine? Fuck yeah. But John Cannavale was just on Coach John Cannavale was just on the Wimp to Warrior Instagram page, and he was talking about what the fuck happened. So you can check that out on that page, either his personal or the Wimp to Warrior page. But yeah, they had been training that fucking guillotine position for a while. Now, whether that was his undoing, whatever, anything. But anybody, again, just like the fucking, what they were saying about Anderson Silva, right? Oh, Weidman fucking knocked him out. Okay, Anderson Silva fucking knocked out Anderson Silva. He put himself in a place in a precarious position. He fucked up and whatever, and Weidman knocked him out. The second fucking time, right? That was a fucking freak accident, right? Oh, and what did he fight? What did Weidman say after the fucking Anderson Silva fight? After he breaks his leg? Oh, I trained check kicks. Okay, do you train nut shots and fucking eye pokes too? That's some fucking stupid shit. But that's it. And look at what Weidman did after. Absolute dog shit to only have the same thing happen to him. Karma's a bitch, Weidman. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So with this being said, everybody might say like I'm a Cotton nut writer or whatever. You could say what you want, but here you go. Everybody that is trying to negotiate a better fucking contract, right, for the UFC, right? Especially now you got to wear the fucking crypto.com fucking logo. Do you know how much you fucking saw out of that in terms of monetary value? Absolutely fucking nothing. So you guys have Dustin fucking Poirier to thank for it. So fuck off, Dustin Poirier. And yes, Connor was right. His wife was in the DMs, all that shit. The hot sauce. He didn't fucking think about the hot sauce until Connor fucking did it first. Fucking Poirier doesn't know who he is. He's a 36-year-old or however fucking old he is, father, whatever. He doesn't know who he is, and that's fine. Just admit that you don't know who you are, right? But you see how Dustin Poirier is. You remember before he was just wearing fucking t-shirts with torque and all that shit. Now he's dressing like Connor. Look at this shit. He's a bandwagon bitch. He is. Again, now he wants to talk about the fucking title. You could have fucking had the title. You would have had Oliveira. What did you do? You won for the money fight. And that's okay. That's okay. Right? But don't say now you want to be the fucking greatest of all time and shit like that. You had your chance of immortality. At best, right now, as we sit here, July 11th, 2021, interim title is the best you've gotten. If you wanted a chance of legitimizing shit, doing a fucking trilogy with Connor ain't it. You fucking fed your fucking pockets. You have your charity, right? Fight for the fucking, whatever, right? That's all good and whatever. But again, you're earmarking what fucking Connor said and everything. You're hedging it. Like, you're a glorified fucking, you want to fucking start a charity. You're partnering with Justin Wren and the Fight for the Fallen and everything like that. But fuck, maybe you started a fucking charity because Justin Wren did it first. I'm just saying. I don't, get from here, Poirier. Get from here. Connor fucking fucked up himself, right? Connor fucked up himself. It resulted in his fucking leg being broken. That's what happened. Yes, he was piecing him up, but just how we were saying about Mutino, and this is where the fucking MMA fucking sphere gets all fucked up. They wanted 20 more fucking seconds of the fucking Mutino fight, right? But if that freak accident didn't happen, right? If it didn't fucking happen, guess what? We could have got a 20 more seconds for the fucking second round of that fucking fight. And again, this is like, what is it? The fucking outlier fucking throwing a dart against the wall. I know I fucking sound crazy, whatever. But assuming that fucking freak injury didn't happen, that Connor sustained to his own damn self, right? We would have got a second round. And I would have loved to see what would have happened in the second round. Because it was it, Connor fucking started out. Look at fucking Poirier. Connor started out the same fucking way as he did the last two fights. Right? The fuck, man? Again, don't say you want legitimacy and get a money fight. Don't want to fucking start a charity and a fucking hot sauce because motherfuckers were doing it first and you're like, no, man, don't. And yes, Poirier's fucking wife was in the DMs, right? And I know she, whatever. But, I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you're going to go to another dude, and knowing who Conor McGregor is, yes, it was all cool at Fight Island. Everything was cordial. I watched back some of the tape and everything. Poirier and his wife were basically, getting congratulated by D. Devlin, the spouse of Conor McGregor, as well as McGregor himself, right? That all happened, right? But this is still fucking Conor McGregor, right? This is a fucking snake. Just because a snake is docile or alligator or whatever vicious fucking predator is there, right? You don't fucking start to fucking put your hand in its mouth or whatever. You sliding in your fucking DMs. You know, if shit went south and it went the other way, which it fucking did, you knew that was going to be ammunition used against you. So, just saying. And talking about, oh, you called out my wife. She did fucking get in his DMs. You could have fucking handled it. You could have had a manager handle it. You could have. There's, come on, you have a charity, a 501 fucking charity. You should know how this shit works about this time. You have a corporation in your fucking hot sauce, supposedly, allegedly. You're supposed to know whatever, unless you're doing the fucking day-to-day operations mindset while being a fucking full-time fighter, while fucking being a full-time chairman of the board of the charity. And then, having your own fucking gym, and then also going to fucking South Florida. What is it? What is it, boy? What is it? And that's shit that nobody's fucking talking about. And again, guess what? Poirier and Oliveira. I don't know if it's confirmed, but an estimate. Do you know how much Poirier went? And this could be complete bullshit. But from promotional, appearances for this week, as well as the fight and winning the fight. No.
He got 1 million, right?
That's not what I saw. He got
What
1
did he
million
get?
just so I don't know if it's bullshit or not, right? And I'm gonna try and see if I can pull this up. One site, and I don't know if it's reputable or not, but they said he got the extent of over 20 mil. That's what I saw.
Poirier?
That's what I saw.
Poirier got 20 million?
That's what they said 23 point some odd. It was some fucking ridiculous number. I don't know if that's
see
true.
that. I gotta see that to believe it.
Let's see.
I gotta get it from Dana White or
No,
or
Dana
UFC
White is not gonna.
representative.
Dana White's not gonna fucking tell. Dana.
But they usually post what they pay the athletes though, don't they?
Not since the fucking the lawsuit, the antitrust lawsuit. You remember that?
Right.
Yeah, it's still fucking going. So you notice fucking Dana has been pretty silent on that shit. But yeah, I mean, somebody said, and there could be bullshit or whatever. But this is a money fight, right? This is the money fight. The first fucking fight with Conor was the most that he'd ever made, right? Mm-hmm. The second one blows that shit out of the water. That is facts, right? He says the fucking, a title fight is 1/8 of what he made in this fucking Conor fight, right? So you want the quest for legitimacy, right? And immortality, but again, if that's earmarked by a fucking title, right? Well, you bypass that. You didn't want that, right? And then now you want it again? See how much you make you beating Conor, but really, Conor fucking beat himself, right? Conor fucking beat himself, right? But him and Oliveira, does this get a quarter? Him challenging for the title, does this get a quarter of the fucking amount of pay-per-view or live gate sales, pay-per-view points, whatever you want to construe it to, as this fucking Conor fight did? You and everyone in this fucking organization, hell, the fact that Conor fights are on ESPN Plus. Well, guess what? On ESPN Plus, you got PFL. People in PFL got fucking Conor the thing. Hey, you might be floating across Paramount Sports Network on your way to ESPN Plus because you misconstrued it in your brain. ESPN, Paramount, maybe whatever, and you find Combate or Bellator on there. But you were looking for a fucking Conor or Ronda or a Brock fight or whatever. This is it. Nobody goes to those fucking apps and channels, UFC Fight Base, clamoring for Dustin Poirier fights. If you are, God love you. That's who Dustin Poirier and his wife and his organization and its hot sauce are clinging to, that you're going for him. But Justin Bieber was there. Travis Barker, one of the Kardashians, whatever the fuck. Were they there for fucking Justin Poirier? Trump was in the fucking off. Were they there for Dustin Poirier?
Definitely not.
Okay. So again, Dustin Poirier fucked everyone out of a paycheck.
I once saw this movie called The Matrix, and in that movie, there was a character by the name of Morpheus, and he made a statement that I did not really feel or understand until last night. He said, "I have dreamed a dream, and that dream has gone from me." And it rang in my head yesterday, watching Connor go out the way he went out. Um, First of all, in regards to the fight, Dustin came out ready. Connor came out probably in the best shape that I've ever seen him.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the embedded with Connor in it, if you watch him when he turned his back, you can see that his lower back was shredded. To lose, to be shredded back there like that, you must have put in some work. You know what I'm saying? He was shredded all over. So you, for someone to say he wasn't prepared, he was definitely prepared for that fight. So was Dustin. In the first fight, they were both at 145 pounds. Uh, Dustin, uh, Dustin is a naturally bigger man than Connor. So for him to go down to 145 became a disadvantage, which is why he lost in the way he did. When you move on to 55, Connor has to go up to feel in that body. You know what I mean? And Dustin is naturally bigger, right? So when they got in the cage for the second fight, he was clearly bigger than Connor. Was Connor prepared for that fight? Like, whatever. He's the bigger man. When it comes to the difference between these two, I will say there's a 1% difference. And that advantage goes to Dustin. Just 1%. Nothing serious. But the thing, even though it's just 1%, 51 to 49, whatever you want to slice it, however you want to slice it. Of course, when they go to the cage, it's 50-50. But then when they start fighting, the difference is just 1%. But when you are a seasoned fighter like Dustin is, that 1%, he's able to maximize it and get the most out of it, right? The weight advantage he used to his advantage. His ability to go in there and finish a match like he did in the second fight, he executed that pretty well, right? He is the cream of the crop. We've never taken away from Dustin the fact that he is a top 3 in the world. In the world, he is a top 3. We will give him that. However, the problem here is, okay. In the third match, as Kavanaugh alluded to us, Connor was already injured. He was already injured coming into this fight, which explains the break that you witnessed in the match. There was already damage to that leg. How it happened, we don't know. But clearly, there was a fracture already in there. So now, Connor, not wanting to disappoint the millions and millions of fans, and he even though he knows he's injured, he still went out there and he performed. All that right there is gonna go unnoticed, and I'll tell you why it's gonna go unnoticed. Because in this game, in this mixed martial art game, the ones that we call men, the ones that we call warriors, are a bunch of jealous, hating sons of guns. The jealousy and hatred for the next man because of what he got. It's too much. You know? People are always so worried about what the other man is doing, right? And how he's doing it. Why don't you learn from what he's doing and you go do your own?
Yep.
Instead of hating on him. And this is the problem with Dustin Poirier. Before Dustin fought Connor, he never saw this kind of money.
No.
People say Khabib this and Khabib that. Khabib this and Khabib that. When he fought Khabib, he never saw this kind of money. Right?
Aldo.
Dustin.
Aldo.
Aldo. No one has
Although
ever seen this kind of money
Eddie
until they
Alvarez,
fight Conor.
yeah.
Oh well, he's the only one that didn't see any money because he figured it was gonna be an easy fight. So
Oh yeah, yeah,
he
yeah. No,
neglected to renegotiate a
right,
Conor
right.
fight. Yeah, he neglected to renegotiate a Conor fight, and he paid dearly for it. That was his fault, right? But everyone else, they're all haters. They're all haters. And as I say, man, when you're on top, heavy lies the head that wears the crown. You don't have to be a champion to be the king. Not anymore. Not anymore. Connor's in his own class. You say, yeah, but he's lost to this. He's tapped. He tapped like chicken. He tapped like chicken. He did this and he did that. He's still the man. Because only he can bring Trump to sit down and watch. Only he can bring so many celebrities
Mel
to
Gibson.
sit down and watch. He is the only one that is ultimate marketing genius.
Half the
He
fucking
built his own
NFL.
platform.
Half the fucking NFL were in the, like the entire league was there.
Hey, check this out. The people that Dustin Poirier and all these haters, the people that they worship, come to watch Conor perform.
Mm-hmm.
The LeBron James and all these
Mm-hmm.
fools that play basketball and football, they all come to watch Conor. Not you, Dustin.
Yeah.
They come to watch you fight Conor. They will
Yeah.
never come to watch you fight someone else.
Do
Only
they
when
know
you
your
fight Conor.
name? At the going to their car, Connor fucks up his leg. Connor gets carried out of the fucking thing on a stretcher, which is what he said he would do to you. Yeah, right? Do they remember your name?
Hey,
You think fucking Kim Kardashian's sister or fucking Machine Gun Kelly or what is it, Megan Fox or Megan Kelly or whatever the fuck her name is, right? Do you think they remember who Dustin the Diamond Poirier is?
hey,
They're gonna buy your fucking hot sauce?
hey, when those people decided to come to the fight, they were saying we're going to the Conor fight.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say we were going to go see Dustin Poirier fight Conor McGregor. They said we're going to the Conor. It's the Conor fight. It's
Mm-hmm.
the Conor fight. I mean, plain and simple. And why is that? Why is that? Why is it the Conor fight? Because of the work that he's put into this.
Yeah.
The kid has been working since the beginning. He's got a gift. And he did not piss his gift away. He put his gift to use, and now it's yielded him all that he has. Don't hate on the man for making it to the top faster than you. Yeah, you've been there for 15 years or 17 years. Don't be mad at him because you didn't know what to do. Don't be mad at him because you don't have the skills it takes to be the ultimate. Conor had the skill. He utilized the skill, and now it's yielded them great profit. Why are there so many of you fighters hating? Why are you hating? He's just 33 years old, and he's got enough finance for 4, 5, 6 generations of the McGregors. This is admirable. This is admirable. What have you done? How many generations in your family have you set up? This is the questions you need to ask yourself. Instead of hating on the man that's doing, why don't you learn from the man that's doing? Why don't you take a look at what the man is doing and see if you can learn from the blueprint? What from the blueprint works for you? Why aren't you looking at that? Why are you waiting for his downfall? You just see how many people were celebrating that he broke his leg? What kind of bunch of dirty, stinking,
Okay.
hating rats are you guys? You
although
want to celebrate another man's broken leg?
although
You
I danced,
understand? He's go ahead, go ahead.
I mean, I did fucking laugh my ass off when Weidman broke his, because that was Anderson fucking Silva. You dumb shit.
But you
I'm
laughed.
just saying,
You
not you
laughed.
dumb shit. Weidman's dumb shit.
You
And
laughed, but you didn't celebrate it.
well,
You might have laughed, but you weren't celebrating it.
yeah, I did.
Hey,
Fuck yeah.
but you're a fan.
And his bullshit
You're a
ass
fan.
teammate, and his bullshit ass teammate that fucking won on a fucking illegal knee, right? That's champion.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
I laughed.
hey, look. Those guys right there, those guys, the guys from New York, whatever camp they come from, they've always been a little suspect. right? And their character. Their character has always been questionable from the very top to the bottom. I've never really been a fan of that group, with the exception of Frankie Edgar. You know what I mean? My words have never changed. I've never been a fan of whatever their coach's name is. The little guy that beat George St. Pierre, a fluke knockout, and then St. Pierre came
Matt
back and
Serra.
toe tagged him.
Matt Serra.
Matt Serra, the other guy that talks a lot, him too. I've never really been a fan of them, but I will give them credit where credit is due. They've been able to put together combinations or whatever that's worked for their fighters. But as in regards to character, I've never been. So when you say what you say about Weidman breaking his leg, I can understand. They've irked you the wrong way. So, but what has Conor done to you guys? What has he done but be successful? What has he done but put out Purple 12 and sold for $2 billion or whatever, making him number one in Forbes? What has he done but entertain the fans all over the world? What has he done but build his own platform with his own hands and lifted himself up? You want to say, the UFC was pushing him. The UFC pushed you too? They pushed you too? They pushed all of you guys. But you lack the skill to manifest what was given to you. You lack the skill because you were not ready to evolve with the company. Oh, I'm a fighter. I should be recognized for fighting. No, the times have changed. The times have changed. We, the fans, want to be entertained. And Conor gave us that. He gave us that. He was even nice to you, Dustin Poirier. He promoted your little hot sauce. He promoted you. He tried to uplift you. And what did you do? You turn around like the snake you are and you stabbed him in the back by putting your personal business online about the money. And he showed you what a chump you were. He told you that you're new to money. This is why you would do something like that. You know what I mean? And you might. One thing is to not like him. Another thing is to question his integrity. That's another thing. You question his integrity, and that upset him. When he talked about you, he talked about you. He didn't question your integrity. He talked about you. He said you were not on his level, which is true. Back then, you weren't on his level. Even now, you're still not on his level. Yeah, you won. You won. But understand, you are not on this level because of this, and I'm about to say it. Without Conor, you wouldn't have made the millions that you made without Conor. Yep. Let's be honest. You fought Khabib and you didn't make that kind of money. You fought everyone else and you never made this kind of money. You had never seen this kind of money until you fought Conor. And it's a fact. Give credit where credit is due. And all you haters, all you fighters that are hating, celebrating a man breaking his leg, look at yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and then ask yourself, what have you done lately? What have you contributed to your own platform? What have you done?
Yep.
What have you done?
Society is full of haters. It is the reason for so much lack. Well said, Pastor Pius. And Robert Tyndall says a bit of a disagreement that the fluke KO, he put a 21 punch combo on GSP. Or as we were saying,
he clipped him. Okay. He clipped him.
You guys, I'm not getting. Y'all can both. Robert Tyndall.
Yeah. Are we talking about Matt Serra here?
I do believe
21 hit combination, Matt Serra. I don't remember seeing that. A 21 hit combination from Matt Serra. So what happened in the second fight, Mr. Tyndall? I think you're talking about somebody else. Oh. You got to be talking about somebody else.
There you go.
You better watch that fight again. I didn't see no 21 hit combination.
I mean,
you must be talking about TJ Dillashaw and Barral. TJ Dillashaw hitting Barral. Yeah. That was a 21 hit combination. But I don't think Matt Serra has the ability to throw a 3-hit combination. Not to talk about a 2-hit combination. He threw one punch that landed on him, and that's all it was. He got lucky. That's what it was. He got lucky.
I want to believe he fucked him up. No, what I read is anyway. The better man won that day. No, 100%. And great shows, always, gentlemen. Thank you, Shaman Steve. But what I'm saying is, here's the thing: Conor McGregor broke his leg, right? I personally, I'm good on the Conor deal. First off, he should have never fucking been fighting in the first place. The fact that we got the Cerrone fight, right? The fact that he even came back to MMA, right, after the Mayweather, after Proper 12, like, we owe every fighter, every fight fan, every fight reporter, everybody involved in this fucking fight business owes a debt of gratitude to that person, right? Everybody's saying that, hey,
Yes.
people only give a shit about the fucking heavyweights. Conor McGregor has never fucking been a heavyweight, right? Not even on his worst day. They got people to care. 2 divisions, right? The fact that they fucking stripped Woodley's fucking title in Madison Square Garden just to give to Conor, right? They didn't. Even the UFC didn't think it was possible what Conor McGregor did, right? They didn't have a fucking second title queued up. Hell, even a fucking replica title for him to hold up, right? But it's Mystic Mac, right? So the fact of the matter is, he fucked this shit up. His shit is broke. I don't want to see him ever fight again. There's no point. There's absolutely no point. But again, Dustin,
He'll be back.
I know,
He'll
but
be
I don't
back.
want to see it. I
He'll be
don't.
back.
I don't want to see it because again, we want Conor McGregor to, because Anderson Silva was so much better after he broke his leg, right? Than before it, right? Right. He was so much better.
Man. No,
Anderson Silva was so much better.
No, he wasn't. He was never the same. He
Okay.
was never the same. But
And
the
Conor?
difference here is Conor has millions of dollars. He will go to Zimbabwe to go get some sap from some tree if he has to. He will go to Venezuela for some stem cells, illegal stem cells, if he has to. He's got the funds, man.
Okay.
He will rebuild himself, and he will be back in 9 to 10 months. He would never be the same. He would never be 100. He'll be back better than Anderson Silva and the guy from New York.
Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. I was watching the fight with a fucking sports surgeon last night. And he's like, yeah, we can fucking fix all that. This we can never fix. You're always going to be timid. This we can't fix. And I can't tell you, I can't tell you who they've had on the operating table at his facility, right? I can't tell you, but I'm sure you know some of the people. And this is not just one sport. This is not just MMA. This is basketball. This is football, high level, NBA, NFL, NHL, all of those shit, right? Every
one thing that I can tell you.
And
one
yes,
thing
he
that
did.
I can tell you is this.
Yes, he did.
One thing that.
Yes, he...
yeah, Zimbabwe. Hey. Zimbabwe.
And you're the resident African.
Hey, one
so
thing that I can tell you is
I'm good. I'm American Fijian. I can't. Kudos, man.
Hey, one thing that I can tell you is this: all you hating ass fighters, every last one of you, will miss Conor when he's gone. I guarantee you, you will all miss Conor because you know what's going to happen. You are all going back to your stables. Every last one of you. You're going back to your stables, and you will go back to getting thousands of dollars, not millions, thousands of dollars. That's what's going to happen. You had an opportunity to stand behind Conor and help him become the tip of the spear so you can go up against the company. But you chose to hate like crabs in a bucket. You chose to drag him down and pull him down to your level instead of uplifting him so he can spearhead the battle with you reinforcing him. But now you have screwed up. Your only chance to finally begin to matter. The only person that could have taken you on the route to millions. You all hated on him
Mm-hmm.
until he finally broke from your hatred and jealousy.
Mm-hmm.
Your hatred and jealousy has finally broken him, and now you will all go back to starving.
Yep.
You will all go back to starving, with the exception of those that have taken the time to look at the Conor blueprint, of course. Sean O'Malley, shout out.
Mm-hmm.
Sean O'Malley, shout out. With the exception of the few that were smart enough to follow the blueprint, the rest of you are going to go right back to receiving thousands of dollars, 50,000 to fight, 50,000 to win, if you win. You know what I mean? Good luck to you guys. Good luck to you. We will be here. We will be here to watch you get your chump change.
Yep.
And not get the money that you deserve. Right? All of you haters.
Yeah.
Haters.
Yeah.
Dos Anjos was also a hater.
Mm-hmm.
Dos Anjos, the man that Red Panty Night was dubbed off of, he also hated. How could you hate, man? You, when your leg was hurt, you didn't take the fight. You had a chance to take the fight. You chose not to.
Yeah.
You chose not to. You chose not to. You could have been the first millionaire, but you chose not to fight.
Wait,
That's your problem. Don't be mad.
You mean the Rafael dos Anjos that's in Forbes now, right? He's number 1, right? Over Messi
Yeah,
and LeBron. One. That one, right? That exists, right? This is not hyperbole. That guy exists, right? And yes, Robert Tyndall, they will miss the paydays that was gone. But I'll even do you one further, right? Here are 2 facts that I'm going to, and I'll leave it at this. But, okay, he went off to Flight Floyd, right? First off, I mean, the current president, right? Like him or not, he was just talking about, having no competes, right? Kind of eyeing the UFC, kind of eyeing the WWE when you get released. How dare they say where you can and can't work for 3 fucking months, right? And fucking hold your shit up, right? So here's the fact of the matter. $100 million that he got for, well, first off, the Floyd deal, the fact that it even happened. Because you remember, the UFC tried to block that. And Conor had to go and cite the Ali Act. It was a whole damn near a fucking year. Mm-hmm. A whole year ordeal for this to happen. He does it, $100 million. But $100 million isn't $100 million. Maybe it's a little bit more than reported. Maybe it's a little bit less. We definitely know that's fucking death in taxes, right? Because that shit happened in the U.S., right? So maybe it was a little less than $100 million. But he fucking takes that, starts this, what have you, right? What did the majority stake that he fucking sold for earlier this year? His cut, $250 million. Right? That came from fighting. The guy that fucking had the fucking Mark Henry retirement suit. It was like, you haven't won a fight since fucking Obama before fucking Cerrone. To use a fucking another wrestling reference, it doesn't fucking matter. Right? Conor was a guy who, at the height of his drawing power, was arguing for ownership stake in the company, a percentage, right? Conor couldn't get it. John Jones couldn't get it. But what did they do? Endeavor goes public. Do you think Conor got any of that? Do you think any fighter after it? How many motherfuckers that just got $75,000? Do you know how much of it is probably going to go into Endeavor stock? 0! But yet you want a fucking bargaining table, whatever. Here's the way. I'm a shareholder. I'm going to have more say than you who fight for this. Blood, sweat, and tears, fucking bone breaks, weight cuts, fucking kidneys failing. I have more say than you. What the fuck? But you don't want to stand behind him. This is one of the reasons why the fucking fighters union, wrestlers union, whatever, because again, like you said, rats on a sinking ship, crabs in a barrel, whatever you want to fucking attribute it to, that's what it is, And he's still the paid spokesperson of Proper 12. Yes, we knew that because what? Fucking second fight or first fight, right? They fucking cut the feed to run a fucking Proper 12 commercial next to an NFL.com commercial. They didn't even give them a flying fuck about the first fight of the night, right? That was the first finish of the night to run a fucking NFL commercial next to the fucking MMA Proper 12 commercial, right? But look at it. Here we go. NFL. arguably the biggest sports property in the world, right? Not even fucking
Mm-hmm.
NBA can fucking touch it. NHL, all that shit,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And a
Mm-hmm.
representative
Mm-hmm.
of MMA is right there. Right there. That they fucking ran. It could have been a fucking Freudian slip. It could have been, right? But that first fight, the first finish, the fucking biggest win of Zalga's Zumagulov's fucking career, and they ran a fucking Connor commercial on a fuck up. That tells you all you
Yeah.
need to know. So again,
Right.
Dustin Poirier, you fucked up rent panty night for everyone else. Everyone else. Everyone else. The charity. The money didn't go to yours, it went to another one. Y'all fucked it up. They you know, shit. And how about the fact we pay for the pay-per-view and they still show us commercials? Facts. Facts, Robert Tyndall. This is it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I honestly believe, and I hope that Connor's ego doesn't get the best of him, and this is the last time that we see him in the octagon because that fucking again, you can't change the fucking mentality, right? Of somebody that had this horrific fucking tragedy happen to one of their limbs that they used for kicking the shit out of people. So I don't know, man. And even still, Conor, maybe 2 years of rehab, a 35-year-old Conor McGregor against the new breed of mixed martial artists in 2 years. Fuck, Mutino could be a badass in fucking 2 years and beat the shit out of Conor. I don't want to see it for somebody that has. Uh oh. Uh oh. Oh, it says your mic isn't connected. You're, yeah. So here's the fact of the matter, folks. What I'm gonna do. I probably got a shot left of Proper 12, but this is a salute, right, to the man, right? Man, I mean, UFC 264 not having a fucking title fight, right? Not having a title fight. The biggest, or second biggest pay per view buy in UFC history. That didn't happen because of Dustin Poirier. That happened for the maker of this guy, Proper 12. So, Conor McGregor, thank you for all what you've done for the sport, what you've done for everybody here. I'm going to take a shot for you of Proper 12 whiskey. That's actually fucking good, man. So, again, that's UFC 264. You, UFC 264. I mean, overall, what did you think, Voodoo?
Overall, spectacular. Even with a broken leg. See, this is how when you look at a fighter and you look when we're talking about the greatest MMA fighter ever. I'm giving them that title. I'm not talking about wins and losses.
Yeah.
This is beyond that. This is beyond that. Like we've repeated multiple times.
Yep.
Until Conor, no one was making millions until Conor. He is the first one to do that, and until someone passes that, he remains the greatest MMA fighter ever. My word. Now, even with a broken leg, the man remains entertaining. Can you believe that? Look at the previous dudes that's broken their legs. Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, Corey, whatever his name is. It's agony. Agony. Oh! Grabbing the leg. Oh! Your boy grabs the mic and continues to do his job. Even with a
Yep.
broken leg, he still wrapped up the night. He wrapped up the night with a nice bow. Continue to entertain to the very end. What else can you ask for?
Joe Rogan, man. Look.
What else?
Here you go. Talk about Joe Rogan, fucking multimillionaire. Arguably, this is one of the few times me and Dana White agree, right? Greatest broadcaster that's ever lived is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan, shit ton of money in his own right. He's got, just for talking, he got fucking Connor Floyd money just for fucking talking, right? So with that all being said, made him fucking sit on his ass to fucking interview Connor with a broken leg. If
Yeah.
that, again,
Yeah.
we need, look, y'all complain about Joe Rogan, y'all complain about fucking Conor McGregor, hell, even fucking Dana White, right? When they leave, you're fucked. All of you guys are fucked. Just saying, you guys are
Hey,
fucked.
hey, all of these haters, every last one of them, they will all miss him when he's gone. They do not know what they have until it's gone. And when it's gone, they will understand that, the path that he carved out for them, they should have traveled that path because their lives would have been much better due to it. You know what I mean? But they will learn. They will
Yeah,
learn. In due time, they will learn. And it is what it is. It
yeah,
is
no,
what it is.
yeah, absolutely. And yes, the proper 12. I took it while you were off. I took a shot of proper 12. I did it on an empty stomach. Not, I'm not the smartest person, but again, my illegibility or lack of candor. Um, Fuck it, man. Conor McGregor, thank you. And I'm not saying you're done, but I hope you are. I really do hope you are. And again, the days that Conor McGregor walks away from the sport, the day that Joe Rogan walks away from the sport, the day that Dana White walks away from the sport, we can, yep, not a good idea,
Hey,
100%.
the reason why I would support you saying McGregor walk away from the sport is one reason. It will allow for us to quickly see what these people are missing out on. If he never comes back, then they will quickly see how much they've screwed up. You know what I'm saying? How much they've screwed up and how much they've wasted their own time hating on the man instead of supporting him.
Facts, preach, preach, preach.
Yeah,
And it could have been
straight
John
up.
Jones. It could have been fucking who? What's his name? Michael Chiesa, right? Michael Chiesa and
Hmm.
Kevin Lee try to get it. It could have been anybody. It was just Connor,
Hmm.
right? And most people could say right place, right time, or whatever. But guess what? He was doing that shit in Cage Warriors, right? That's why people are high on
Yep.
fucking Patty Pimblett, right? Because they feel like he's the fucking
Hmm.
next wave of fucking Connor, the guy in Bellator, James
Hmm.
Gallagher. Same,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
You know? And they did the same with Rousey. 100%.
Hmm.
Y'all wish, right? That Ronda was still here. Yeah, Ronda went to do WWE,
Hmm.
made more money per date
Hmm.
than she did in in the UFC on top, right? You know,
Hey,
she
but Ronda
upped the
Rousey
women's
never
game.
got anyone paid millions. Ronda Rousey never got anyone paid millions. Or any
Right?
of her opponents never made millions. She opened the door to making millions for fighters, but her opponents never made millions.
Nope.
I mean, I don't see one of her opponents saying, "Hey, man, I'm good. I'm good." They're still fighting.
Yeah,
They're
all
still
of them.
fighting. Connor
Jessica
got people
I,
paid.
Jessica I,
Connor got people paid. She's still fighting.
Holly Holm,
They're
Misha
still
Tate,
fighting.
Misha Tate's come back.
She's broke, so she came back.
She came back.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying,
So
yeah,
it
yeah.
is what it is.
But just like you and Shaman Steve was saying, people want to fucking hate this festering and everything. Support each other. That's all I'm saying. You could like Poirier. I personally, not my cup of tea. Right? Not my cup of tea. I I respect Israel Adesanya and fucking Kamar Usman. Do I want to sit and watch them on fucking Rogan's podcast? Probably not. But I watch Ronda, right? I watch fucking Chappelle. I watch, but I won't watch Volkanovski, right? Like
Hell no.
Volkanovski is the man watching paint dry. Again, and we're in this new season of the Ultimate Fighter, right? The Ultimate, people are like, oh man, we looked up to Volk, and I was like, oh no, please don't, because you ain't gonna draw shit either. You're gonna be fighting for 50 and 50. for a championship fight. 50 and 50.
Ah,
Headlining a pay-per-view for 50,000
yo.
to win, 50,000 to share. And settling for a $30,000 fucking what is it? Venom fucking increase. Yeah.
hey,
Keep on.
hey,
Keep on.
hey, one more thing. Can you believe? Can you believe these haters are telling Sean O'Malley that he is trying to be like Connor? Like that's a bad thing. Like that's a bad thing. I'm trying to be successful. That's a bad thing. So you
I
trying to
don't
be like Connor. You copying Connor's style. Connor laid down a blueprint that worked,
yeah.
and he's trying to follow that so he can be successful at a young age.
And here's the thing, right? So you again, people want to link shit, right? They see things and whatever, and be like, "Oh, every women's fighter was Ronda Rousey," right? Like that was it for almost like the last decade, right? Everybody's Ronda Rousey. Everybody's Ronda Rousey, right? They think that Sean O'Malley is like Connor, right? But like you said, in terms of the success, that's where we go, right? But Sean O'Malley is his own damn self. Does Connor have a podcast? Is Connor on Twitch playing video games? No, that's Sean O'Malley. But Connor gave him the confidence to be that. Ronda Rousey was that. She was given the confidence to do that, right? How and that's the thing. Confidence that like the UFC can't take away from him. Again, Ronda, Brock, they made more money in UFC. Fuck. Here's the deal. Brock is making for not talking, just appearing in the WWE, right? Because after you won the UFC, if he wouldn't have gone to the UFC and won the title, he wouldn't be back in the fucking WWE. And although he's not back now, but Brock Lesnar was making $300,000 just to appear. Now that $300,000, right, was not even including the private jet from where he was in Canada to wherever the WWE is, right? That's not even including the merch sales and his inclusion in the WWE video games. That's not including the fact that a lot of times he didn't even fucking talk. He had Paul Heyman talk for him. $300,000. And then for a match, to actually wrestle a match. And there hasn't been a Brock Lesnar match that's lasted over 8 minutes since he beat The Undertaker damn near 5 years ago. The last time that, oh fuck, Wonder Boy was knocking motherfuckers out. 5 years ago, right? That, but the last the last time Brock wrestled over 8 minutes, right, is a fucking kindergartner. And that, though, $500,000, $512,000. Okay? But y'all want to fucking hate on wrestling. Y'all want to hate on Connor. Y'all want to hate. Fucking Cain Velasquez went. Tito Ortiz and Rampage were fucking still trying to do that up until a couple of years ago and said it was too hard.
Yep.
Too hard than actual fighting. Open up every opportunity while you got. This is the spirit of Conor McGregor. If somebody, Hulk Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan and George Foreman, right? The agents were like, hey, we've got this fucking slap chop blender, right? Or this grilling machine. Call me back. And fucking Hogan took his kids to school. Well, the grilling machine went to George Foreman. George Foreman grills, right? And the fucking shit that went nowhere, the fucking blending machine went to Hogan. And again, it fucking went nowhere. The fucking Hulk Hogan pasta factory in the Mall of America in Minneapolis, that went fuck all, right? There are few people. When you get to a Dave Bautista, who's a major star, when you get to a fucking Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, all of these fucking people, it's rarefied air. Stone Cold Steve Austin, these once in a generation type talents. And again, remember, Ali wasn't loved. It's only now do we talk about Ali as the greatest, right? The greatest of all time. Only now, only recently, right? He's hated. Right? But we want to talk about whether it be Kaepernick or the fucking girl who smoked weed or the fucking all this shit. And it's not a race thing because again, there's so many, one way or another, conservative, liberal, whatever the fuck, right? Whatever way you stand and everything like that. And you're hated, whatever. But guess what? Hopefully, if you do it right, 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, you're going to be a revolutionary, right? Conor
Mhm.
McGregor is a fucking revolutionary.
Mhm.
I hope you guys fucking get it, man. And if you don't, maybe again, you're gonna get your brains beat up for fucking pennies on the dollar.
Mhm. Mhm. Hey, one thing that's for sure is if Conor McGregor chooses to go into Hollywood, he can go into Hollywood and dominate.
He's
He can
33,
be the
right?
next Rock. Yeah, he's got time. Hey, man, Hollywood's been chasing Conor for a long time. He just chooses to focus on fighting. If he wants to go to Hollywood and become the next mega star, he can do that. He
Fuck
can do
that.
that. So the
He
question
brought
is, fighters, what can you do? Can you go to Hollywood and dominate? Ask
he
yourself that question, Dustin.
fuck that. He brought Hollywood. He brought the NFL. He brought the NHL. He brought the NBA. They all was there. He brought them to him. He brought them to fucking
Hey, hey,
hot
hey,
ass
hey, hey,
Vegas in the middle of the summer.
hey, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Conor lost his last match, came to this match, and got paid more money.
More money.
Something you need to pay attention to. See, yeah. See, all they saw was the loss. Look at the fact that he got paid more money coming from a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he comes back, he gets paid more money.
Mm-hmm.
You're missing the boat, fighters. Instead of hating on Conor, study his game plan.
Just saying. Yeah, or just whoever the fuck you are, turn that shit to 10. Turn that shit to 10.
Yeah, do something.
You know,
Do
you
something.
don't have to fucking talk. If you're the silent assassin, then you fucking cut your teeth. You better get 8-second knockouts into the title shot. That's cool. Whoever the fuck you are, you into fucking anime. Stylbender's doing great with that shit.
Uh,
Stylbender's doing great with that
uh-huh.
shit. He's that next generation, right? Usman is fucking talking that fucking
Yep.
shit too. Like, you know, Usman is coming into his own. A little too late, but fuck. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
at a time where he needs to. He's a champ, you know. So again,
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Connor. Shout out to everybody that's doing their thing. Shout out to every fucking fighter that
One more
you
thing.
go for
One
it.
more thing. One more thing. So Khabib posts on his little Instagram or Twitter or whatever that was. Good has won over evil. Are you serious? Good and evil in a fist fight? Are you serious? What kind of nonsense is going on here? Did he just good and evil? Are you serious? Two men exchange fists, and you're talking about good and evil? What is wrong with these people?
But
Is
okay,
the hate really that bad?
do you okay? Honest to goodness, Voodoo. Do you think that he would be so content? Habib Nurmagomedov would be so content to go back to where Kazakhstan, right, or somewhere, right? Or do you if he
Yeah.
didn't have that Conor money? Like he was looking at Gaethje and like, nah, I guess, right? Like, and again, I'm not taking away the fucking shit that Conor said about the foul shit about Habib's wife in the towel. That's fucked up. I'm not, I'm not dissuading, him promising his mother that his dad died and he doesn't want to like. I'm not taking any of that away. But again, that Conor fucking card with fucking him fucking trying to fucking Bruce Lee kick fucking Dylan Dennis and shit like that. Even with all the fines and everything like that, he really didn't even have to take that fucking Gaethje fight. Honest to goodness.
No, no, no.
So
And
again,
and how much did he make for that fight? How much did he make for that fight? How much
not as much as
pay-per-view did he
Dustin.
sell for that fight?
Not as much as Dustin.
Come on, bro.
Not as much as Dustin.
Come on.
So I'm just
Anyways.
yeah, man. So and again, and Robert Tyndall says I'm not. I like O'Malley, but I'm not seeing the Conor McGregor connection. And
The Conor McGregor connection is very simple. The Conor McGregor connection is very simple. Uh, the kid can fight, one. The kid can use the mic, he can speak on the mic, and the kid has his own social media platform that is growing every single day. This is a recipe for success if you are a fighter. If you want to become larger than life as a fighter, if you want to if you want to have the option to retire by the age of 30 and whatever age that he's at right now, he is on pace to becoming a multi-millionaire because of his own efforts, kind of like Connor did. So this is the correlation that we're making here. The kid is the next big thing. He just has to keep winning, and even in losses, how he manages himself on the mic will determine how far he gets. I mean, look at Connor. He loses, but yet people refuse to turn their backs on him. How do I know this? I'm not talking about the haters. The haters have had their backs on him from the beginning. I'm talking about the people that paid for the pay-per-view. Those people haven't turned their backs on him, and these are the people that matter anyway, not the Khabib haters and the rest of them, the ones that bring nothing to the sport. You know what I mean? The takers, not the givers, the takers. All the haters seem to be takers. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
It is. It absolutely is. And Robert says he hasn't seen the mic presence. Yeah, it's here nor there.
Give him
But
some
yeah,
time. Give him some time. He's just a little kid.
yeah, he's not even like 25. So, yeah, I mean,
Give him some time.
yeah, but no, man. Again, it's nothing at all went down, man. There was absolutely nothing to fucking talk about, right? I mean, that's what happens. But again, it's the Connor show. Even as he's leaving, even Joe Rogan fucking sat on his ass to fucking interview Conor McGregor. Like that's the Connor effect. That's fuck. Joe Rogan doesn't need to be doing this shit anymore. Everybody's talking shit about fucking Rogan and shit like that. Again, greatest of all time. Connor, greatest of all time. They have elevated the sport. Dana White as well. As much as I hate to admit it, it can't take away anything he's done, right? So that's that. Poirier's gonna have a fucking tough time. Every other fucking fighter after this is gonna have a tough time getting people behind them, getting people interested in them fighting. But I would love nothing more for you guys and gals to prove me wrong, And he's like, right? I was wondering why Joe sat down. Because it's fucking Conor McGregor. So he got the shit on the earpiece and he was like, yeah, Joe, you're going to fucking sit your ass down and fucking interview. $100 million fucking Spotify Joe Rogan. Arguably the greatest fucking, broadcaster, bar none.
I just remember. After the break, after the win, Dustin was gonna be talking to McGregor, to Joe Rogan, and McGregor said something to him, and then Dustin himself was like, "Maybe you should go talk to him first."
Yeah.
Unconscious, man. Okay, hey, they're all deep down in their minds, they know the truth. Deep down in their minds, they all bow down to the real king. It's a fact. You know what I mean? It's just the hatred is so thick that they refuse to give props where props is due. Even he was like, "Why don't you go talk to him first? You're the winner. You just won, right? But you tell Joe to go talk to Connor first." I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Stop the hate, man. Stop the hate. Congratulate. And maybe people will like you more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, it's good. And so what is the Conor McGregor recipe of that fighters need to employ? It's just be you. But
it's very simple.
Figure out a way to make it profitable for you, where you don't need the UFC. They're calling you and throwing money. Oh fuck! The Conor McGregor recipe is the motherfucker from Office Space. You remember, right? He stopped giving a shit what the fucking company, whatever. So got his cubicle fucking pushed down the fucking wall. And what did they want to do? Give his ass more money. Fucking promote him. Do your own fucking shit. Do your own fucking shit.
And the recipe is very simple, man. For any athlete to become successful in mixed martial arts, you need to be able to sell your product, right? And to sell your product, you have to be able to speak to the audience. The audience are the ones buying your product, and your product is what? Your fighting skills. You need to be able to sell your fighting skills, right? You need to be able to tell the people what your agenda is. Okay, by 2 months, I want to fight again, and I want to fight such and such, right? A lot of idiots go out there and they say, "Yeah, my manager this and my manager that." You just did all this work. You finally get to stand in front of Joe Rogan or whoever is interviewing you. You're talking about your manager. You need to go talk to your manager. See, it is dumb things like that that keep people down where they belong. You know what I mean? Another thing is the platform, of course, right? You got to build your own platform. These three things are critical, and you have to win, of course. You got to win. You got to be able to sell the product, and then you have to have a platform where people can, like I said earlier, man, the platform is like Foot Locker, right? The display at Foot Locker, the shoe display is your platform, right? The guy that comes to talk to you or gal that comes to talk to you is your mic skills. And the fight is the shoes itself that you're trying to sell to the public, right? The shoes that are on that rack are your fight skills that you're trying to sell to the public. They need to understand that this is the key, right? They just assume that, okay, I am a great fighter like Dustin Poirier. He is a great fighter. There's no doubt about it. Dustin Poirier is top 3 best ever in this division, right? Props where props is due, right? But at the same time, no one is asking you to rock the mic like McGregor. We simply want you to give us detail about what the plan is going to be, right? Whatever that he says. Whatever he said yesterday, I don't even remember because it meant nothing. He did say something that meant something about the fight for the forgotten or whatever. But anything in regards to him fighting, the time to say it was when the eyeballs and the ears were attentive. And it's right after, and when Joe Rogan is in there, everyone's paying attention at that time. That was the time to say, okay, Charles Oliveira, I know you're in the audience right now. It's me and you. I just got paid. Whatever paid. I just got paid. I just whooped Connor's ass. He could say something like that and then call in Charles Oliveira next. See, this is not going to be like Connor. This is stating facts. Are you going to fight for the title next? Well, promote it right then and there. Mm-hmm. Why do you have to wait? I mean, how many people are going to watch the post-fight conference? Not many. People that matter are not going to watch because they've already saw what happened. You just won. They're not going to watch you talk about how you won. They saw you win. Now, you want them to come back? You want them to come back like they come back for Connor? Then tell us exactly what you want to do next and give us a timeline. Plant the seed and water it. They fail to do this. This is why they don't sell. Mm-hmm. They fail to plant that seed that's going to grow into a tree later.
Yeah. No, I couldn't have said it any better myself, man. So it's just, yep. Aldana. Aldana looked bad in the interview because she had no one to call out. No, 100%. But it's hard. It's hard to call out somebody when you fucking miss weight for. You almost quantified for another division, you know?
That's true.
Preach, Pius, preach.
Hey, Aldana. She dropped the ball. Yes, she missed weight. Yes. When you get on the mic, she did apologize for missing weight. She says she'll never do that again. Excellent way to start the interview. Perfect. Make an apology. Let it be known that you are aware of your wrongdoing, right? And then immediately you switch. Before she even came to that ring, that cage, that arena, she should have already understood her path to success. She beats Kunitskaya, who is number 5. Now you call out number 3. You're number 4. Call out number 3 and continue climbing the ladder until you get to the champion. Do you need time? Okay, call out number 3. When you beat number 3, call out number 2. When you beat number 2, call out number 1. And then you've got the time that you need to face the champ. This is what you do. Don't say, someday I will be champion.
That day could be today.
I will be champion. Tell me anything. That doesn't tell me anything. Lay down your path. Lay down your path so that people can understand, okay, that Mexican girl from Guadalajara, Mexico, she wants this person next. Okay, possibly in the next 2 to 3 months. Okay, I got that in my head. I've written that in my Rolodex. I'm expecting this now. But she didn't do that. She said, someday I will become champion. And she left it at that. She left it in the air. It's like cryptocurrency, right? They give you your ID, right? Now you own cryptocurrency. Now she's decided to toss the the ID. She tossed it, and then she says, "I thought one day my cryptocurrency is gonna be worth something, but without your ID, you can't collect. You can't
Yep.
collect without the ID. So good
Yep.
luck with that."
No, 100%, and that's exactly what Robert Tyndall saw. And Pius, you need to be a manager. You understand the game behind the game. I'm, you know, yeah, I think you would be better than Abdul
Al
Abziz,
Aziz,
right?
Ali Abdul Aziz.
Yeah, that's his name. Oh, yeah, just saying, just saying. But yeah, man, the UFC 264. Again, thank you guys for joining us. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the Voodoo in the Woods podcast on Facebook and
That's
YouTube.
right.
And let's get you a law degree. And yeah, that's what he saw. Yeah, you should
Yeah.
get to get it.
Hey,
But
hey, hey. Ali Abdul Aziz doesn't have a law degree.
no,
He
he
doesn't
doesn't.
have a law degree.
It's
Hey,
fine.
hey. Maybe I'll go rat. Maybe I'll go rat and go be a alleged terrorist. Maybe I'll be able
Ooh.
to get up in the world like that too.
Wow,
Allegedly.
you said that, and this guy automatically appears. Holy fucking shit, man! Jesus, yeah. But Voodoo, where can they find you on social media?
Voodoo Maximus on all four platforms, and that's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook page, and Twitter. Voodoo Maximus. Let's go, baby.
Yes, and I'm According to Woods, and you can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. When I'm not podcasting, I'm sharing stupid, dumb shit memes. So if not, go for one, then you come back for the other. So I'm just saying. But you guys be cool, and we will see you later with more Voodoo in the Woods.